Hey guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a zip up hoodie. In my previous video, I showed you guys how to make a sweatshirt, a crew neck sweatshirt, and it was fabulous. You guys should go check it out. In this one, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this zip up hoodie. Also with this style of pockets, guys, you have a lot to learn from this video. I also have, amazing activewear sewing tutorials on my channel. You guys should go check it out. I'll link the playlist in the description box below so that you guys can go check it out. And yes, let's just get into it. So for this, you're going to be needing your pattern paper, curve ruler, scissors, everything you need to make your work easier. So just grab it and let's get started. Now, the first thing you're going to do is measure your neckline. So at the center front of your paper, measure your neckline. I am using, now guys, when you're measuring this, since it's a zip up hoodie, so the zip is at the front, we need to create that 1 inch for our zipper allowance. So we're going to be measuring 4.5 inches wide for our neckline. So 1 inch for the zipper allowance and 3.5 inches for the neckline. And then we're going to go down by 3 inches. So square it up and create your neckline from there. Now for my shoulder to shoulder measurement, I'm not going to be using my shoulder to shoulder divided by 2. I'm just going to go straight down on this paper, and that's because I want to have a drop shoulder. So I'm going to just use this entire measurement that I have right here. So here I have 10 inches after my neckline. So do you guys get, after this square that I made for my neckline, there's 10 inches after that. So that will be representing my shoulder plus part of my sleeve. Then I'm now going to go down by 2 inches for my shoulder slope because it's going to be slanted. So go down by 2 inches at that end and slant it from the neckline. Now that that is done, I'm going to measure from my shoulder to my bust line. Now I'm not going to be using my main bust line. I'm going to be using 2 inches after that. So I'm going to be measuring 12 inches in my case instead of 10 that I always use. So I'm measuring 12 inches downwards. And then for my waistline, I'm just going to measure down to about, because I don't want it to be on my waist. So it has to go down below my lower waist. And now I'm going to just use a line to rule that line on my bust line. So the next thing I'm going to do is measure my bust circumference divided by 4. And I'm going to add 2 inches to that measurement. Then I'm going to add my seam allowance to it. You can use 1 inch, you can use half an inch if you have a serger. You can, basically use whatever seam allowance you're comfortable with. And remember, since this is a zip up hoodie, we're adding another 1 inch again for our zipper allowance at the center front. So that means you're measuring your bust divided by 4 plus the 2 inch ease, then plus your seam allowance, then that's 1 inch for the zipper allowance in front. Do you guys get? Now guys, for the waistline, I'm just going to go straight down from that measurement I made on the bust line down to that waistline. I'm not going to slant it. If you want to slant it, you can slant it by about 2 inches in or 1.5 inches to just make it like a little bit snug at the waist. But I want to go down because I'm going to put my band, and my band is going to do all the snogging it needs to do. So that's what I'm doing right here. So right here, I'm just making my neckline curve. So once I'm done, I'm going to draw that line for my bust to waistline. Now guys, you're going to take your curved ruler, and from that bust measurement, that measurement you made, you're going to create a slight curve just like I'm doing right here to the shoulder slant. So follow what I'm doing right here, draw it to the shoulder slant, and then I'm going to work on my back neckline. So remember the front is 3 inches, so the back I'm going to be using 2.5 inches. So that will be the back and the front neckline basically. And I'm just going to write out everything I need to write. Like I always say, write out everything you need to write out on your pattern, and I'm going to cut it out from there. So guys, you'd notice I didn't do any back pattern or front pattern. This is the same pattern you're going to use for your front and your back. So except the neckline, the only different thing is the neckline. So guys, you get, the only different thing with this pattern is the neckline. So make sure you don't forget the neckline is different. So guys, for the sleeve, I'm going to take a paper that is 9 inches by 19 inches. In my case, that's what I have right here. On the sleeve side, that's the hem of this sleeve, the sleeve pattern where you want to be the down part. You're going to measure 7.4 inches. So mark it right there. And then from the top, you're going to go down by 1 inch. So go down by 1 inch and just mark it right there. Now you're going to connect that 1 inch point that you just made to the 7.4 inch on the wrist side. So just connect it right there. I'm using 7.4 because it's actually wide enough to fit anybody's hand. When we put the wrist cuff, it's going to, be snug as you want it to be. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that once I'm in the sewing tutorial, because you can't make it right now. So we're going to learn how to make it later on in this video. And now I'm going to take my curved ruler and I'm going to connect it just like this. So we're connecting it to make it look like, how our sleeve shape used to be. So that curve, that S shape, so this is going to be a slight S, because the one on our pattern, main body pattern, is slight. So this one too has to be slight. So guys, now that I've curved it, I'm going to take my pattern paper and I'm going to measure all around that armhole I have on my main body piece. So whatever I have there, I'm going to measure again from the center front of the sleeve. So from the straight part of the sleeve, you're going to measure what you have till you get to that measurement that you just measured. So can you see here that what I measured on my main body pattern is actually less than what I have right here. So I've marked it and then I'm just going to connect it to join the sleeve slant. So can you guys see? So I'm joining it right here and this is what it looks like now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to cut it out and then that will be my sleeve pattern. So can you guys see it? This is what it looks like. So guys, for this, I'm going to be making this triangle pocket. In my sweatshirt video, I showed you guys how to draft a kangaroo pocket in case that's what you want to use. But in this, I'm using a triangle shaped pocket and this is what I'm going to do. So I cut out a fabric that is 10 inches by 12 inches. So I cut out two different fabrics. So this black and the ankara under. So now I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to slash that piece into two, just like this, like a triangle shape. So just like I'm doing right here, slash it into two so you have two pieces just like this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew it right sides facing each other on both pieces. Now in my case, my triangle is perfect because I can easily use the ankara fabric that I used, the front and the back, so it's easy to cut it. I won't waste any fabric, I won't waste anything basically. So I'm just going to place it right sides facing and then I'm going to sew it all around, leaving a space at the front where I'm going to put my zipper. So I'm going to leave that place open. Can you guys see this center right here? I'm going to leave it open. So once I sew it, I'm going to turn it and that place is going to be open. Next up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out my fabric. Now for the pattern, you're going to cut out two pieces for the front, and for the back, you're cutting out one piece on a fold. So that's one piece pattern, you're cutting it on a fold, and then you're going to place it right sides facing each other, just like I'm doing right here, and you're going to sew it along the shoulders. So sew it along both shoulders, and then I'm just going to take my pocket pieces, and can you guys see what it looks like? I'm now going to place it on my front piece. So can you guys see what I'm doing right here? Just place it as a triangle. So align it correctly. So just like I'm doing right here. So it should look like a right angled triangle from the center front side. So now I'm just going to pin it down right there. Now that that is done, I'm going to sew it along the top to about 3 inches after that. Then from the bottom to about 3 inches. And then I'm going to sew the hem as well, the down part down, so that it won't be flapping around and everything. So just sew it along the slant, leaving a space where you're going to be putting your hand through it to put your your items into it. And then I'm going to take my sleeve. So what you're going to do is you're going to find the center of your sleeve and then place it right sides facing your main fabric. So your main piece right here along the shoulder, the shoulder already shows us where the center is. So place the sleeve and the shoulder together right sides facing and then sew it along that armhole. Now that that is sewn, can you guys see my pocket? I have sewn it down and there's a space in between already for my items to go in and it won't fall off. Now once that is sewn, you're going to place your piece right sides facing again and then you're going to sew along the armhole, so the sleeve down to the sides. So from the sleeves down to the sides so that you can move on to the next stage. Now it's time to work on our wrist cuff. So what you're going to do is you're going to measure all around this wrist all around, guys. And then whatever you get, you're going to look for 75% of it. So whatever you get, like I said, look for 75% of it, and make sure it's a stretchy fabric, guys. Make sure it's a stretchy fabric. Once you get that 75%, you're going to measure a fabric that is that measurement by 6 inches. Now you're going to fold it right side facing and sew it along the edge right there, just like I've done right here. And then you're now going to fold it exactly how I'm doing in this video. Fold it together along those seams so that it forms a cuff. Now guys, the next thing I'm going to do is put my sleeve through this wrist cuff. So just put it the way I'm doing it right here, and then as you're pinning it, you are going to be stretching your cuff. That's why I said you guys should use a stretchy fabric. So as you're pinning it, you're stretching your cuff so that it fits all around that wrist.
When I was just a boy, Christmas brought so much joy. Couldn't wait for the presents and laughter. I couldn't sleep late at night looking.
So guys, for the hem as well, you're going to measure all around, just like we did for the wrist. You're going to measure what you have all around it, and then cut out a fabric that is 75% of that measurement. So here I've cut out that 75% fabric, and it's by 5 inches. So the sleeve, the wrist cuff is by 6 inches. This one is by 5 inches. So can you guys see what I mean by stretchy? It is stretchy. So make sure your fabric is stretchy enough to go around it and fit it basically. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fold it into two and then align it with the hem of the zip up hoodie basically. So align it and stretch it as you're going. So once that is aligned, keep stretching as you're aligning it so that it fits very well. Now guys, this is what it looks like. This is the wrist cuff right here. I have done it and it looks perfect. I don't like adding elastic to it, so I'm just going to close the open edges right there and then finish my edges with a zigzag stitch. I've also done the hem and I'm now going to work on the zipper. So whatever method you use to do your zipper, that's what you should use. It's going to be a little bit, technical because this fabric is very thick, so you have to be really careful, really patient when you're doing it. So take your time guys and do the methods that works best for you. Now guys, once that is done, I'm going to work on the hoodie. Yes, the star of the day, we're working on the hoodie now. So what you're going to do now is you're going to measure all around that neckline. So measure all around. Now guys, once you've measured that, divide it by 2 and then just keep that measurement in your right pocket. Then you're going to cut out a pattern paper that is 15.5 inches by 12 inches. So just like I'm doing right here, 15.5 by 12, that's like a standard measurement that you would use, 15 by 5 by 12. And then you're going to now cut it out like this. And then you're going to create a curve, like a hoodie curve. Guys, this is like one of the easiest ways to make a hoodie and it will turn out fine. And then at the hem, you're now going to create our, neckline shape. So that curve, that S shape, that's what you're going to create right here. Just use your free hand, guys. Use your free hand to create that curve. So that's what I'm doing right here. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take that measurement that we kept in our right pocket, that's neck divided by 2, and then you're now going to measure it from this center front right here to that curved side. So just measure until you get to that measurement. Once you get there, mark it and then connect it to that curve right there, just like I'm doing right here. And that's it, guys. That's all you need to do for your hoodie pattern. Now guys, what you're going to do is you're going to cut out 4 pieces. So 4 pieces, 2 for the main fabric and 2 for your lining. Now if you want it to be just one fabric, you can easily use it like that, but I always love clean finishes, so I'm going to cut out 4 pieces, two for the main and two for the lining. So what you're going to do now is you're going to place it right sides facing each other. So the two main fabrics, place them right sides facing and sew it along the curve, and then do the same thing for the lining piece. Now guys, can you see my zipper? I have worked on it. And guys, remember that your zipper has to be those detachable zippers, the ones that you can, remove at the end. So make sure you buy those ones that are removable basically. So I'm just going to zip it up to the top, and then I'm going to cut the excess right there. So to work on the casing, we're going to take our 2 pieces, so the main hoodie piece and the lining. You're now going to place it right sides facing. Now before you place it right sides facing, measure all around that edge, that corner, not the one you're going to connect to the neckline. Measure just along the edges. That's the curved edge that looks like an arc. So measure what you have there and cut out a fabric that is that measurement by 3 inches. So just like I've done right here, I have cut out my piece, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to now place it in between the hoodie pieces right sides facing. So instead of sewing it right sides facing just like that, this one has to be in between. But guys, when you're putting it, make sure this casing piece, the right side of the casing is facing the lining's right side. So that when you are done sewing, when you're finally finishing the casing, it won't be the wrong sides that you're putting on the right side. I don't know if you guys get what I mean. Just make sure the right side of your, in my case, Ankara piece is facing the right side of your lining piece. So basically, the wrong side of the Ankara piece is facing the right side of the main fabric. Guys, before you start sewing all around, please sew the edges as well. Just fold it at the short edges by half an inch and sew it down right there. Then you can now sew the curve, that arc basically. And then once you're done, this is what you're going to have. Guys, can you see? This is what I was talking about, that I said your right side should be facing your lining piece. So can you guys see that's what I did? And now that I want to finish it up, my right side will definitely be with the right side basically. So just follow what I've done. Now to do your casing, you're going to fold it in by half an inch and then fold it on the hoodie piece just like this. So fold it in by half an inch or by 0.75 inches depending on how wide you want your casing to be, and then fold it on the hoodie piece, then pin it down. So just do it like that. Continue doing it like that. Place it, then fold it and pin it down. So I'm just going to do it till I get to the end, and I'm going to sew it all around that edge. Now, guys, you know me, I always love doing my things simultaneously. This part is not going to affect what I have pinned down. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your neck side of your fabric, and then you're going to place the right side of the lining side to the wrong side of your fabric. So just like I'm doing right here. So the right side of this lining will be joined with the wrong side of your jacket piece. So can you guys see I am pinning it down right here just like this, and I'm just going to pin it all around that neckline. So can you guys see? Continue pinning it till you get to the end and sew it down right there. Once that is sewn, you're now going to take the other side of the hoodie, so the one of the main fabric, and you're going to fold it inside by half an inch and place it to cover the seam that you just did. So can you guys see what I'm doing? I am folding it in by half an inch first, and then I'm going to use it to cover the seam I just did. So that's why it's better to start from the back just like I did, so that once you're doing it from the front, it will be clean from the outside and even clean on the inside. So guys, keep folding it and putting it on the seam, so make sure it's covering the former seam that you just did. And then I'm going to just do it like that and sew it down till I get to the other side. And guys, can you see it pinned? This is what it looks like. So once I'm done sewing, it would look even better. And guys, this is what it looks like. I have sewn it. Can you guys see how neat the hoodie is. You can easily put your drawstring in your casing if you want a drawstring hoodie, and then everything is just perfect. Guys, look at it. Everything is perfect. The zipper turned out well, the pockets turned out well, the sleeves turned out well, everything turned out well. The hoodie is fabulous. Guys, I love this zip up hoodie like so much. And this is what it turned out. I love it. It's amazing. If you want to see the sweatshirt I made in my previous video, you guys should go check it out. It's amazing, guys. It's everything you want to watch. I'm also going to be dropping the joggers tutorial and other things that are like activewear related and other sewing tutorials as well. Make sure you subscribe so that you can get notified whenever I post those amazing tutorials. Also check out my other videos. I post sustainable fashion, sewing tutorials, clothes you can wear in multiple ways. I love making sustainable fashion pieces that you can, style in different ways. Also like this video, guys. Please like the video. Comment in the comment section on what else you'd like to see. Any questions you have, I would love to answer you. Follow me on Instagram at Lara Savage Creations. Share this video within and outside your circle. I'm sure you have sewing lovers that also love to make beginner friendly DIY projects that they can learn. And yes, this is the channel for you guys. Also, don't forget to check the sports bra and biker shorts tutorial there on the channel already. And until my next video, do have yourself a wonderful morning, noon, or night wherever you are. It's still your favorite content creator and fashion entrepreneur, Lara Savage, signing out.